Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Gimmick, your usually monthly wrestling fix for GeekVerse, but a little bit more lately because we've got special times. We're on the road to Wrestlemania. I'm the Canadian Nightmare, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by someone that's been some blessed or maybe something else.
Blissed by Alexa. So happy she returned.
We got lots to talk about. And then a man that has no nickname, so I can't introduce him. So I'm not sure if he has
Yeah,
something up his
I
sleeve.
hadn't thought of one yet. So
The
this
man
is
with
just
no
this is just
name.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah, as Buzz is here. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it as usual. Plugs everything you need knows down below. More details. I'll be back on Geek First next week, which will be a fun time. But we're just gonna get into it because we're just talking about just the Royal Rumble, but there is lots to talk about. So S-Bubs, overall, you were at the Rumble last year live, so obviously way different comparison. So how is because yeah, that would have been your first Rumble at all, like watching real time. I know you've watched other Rumbles. So how was your first time watching the Rumble at home, not knowing the outcome and everything like that? And how was the show overall too?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I feel like similar to when I actually went there, like once I'm actually watching the match, I'm not really thinking about like who could be like I'm not thinking
Yeah,
of the
the
surprises
booking
like in
and
the
yeah,
moment. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even men's were like, oh, could it be Rock? And we still forgot, like, oh right, there's LA Knight and Logan. But like in the
Yeah.
moment, you're always forgetting, like, oh right, there's still like, I don't know, Candice LeRae. No offense to Candice LeRae, but it's always like, right, there's someone like that.
Yeah. But overall, I think I'd say I liked the show. I
Hmm.
thought like the men's rumble was a lot of fun, especially I think like the first half of it, where it was just like you're saying, it's just like a work rate rumble,
Yeah.
the first half of it. And I thought like to me the speed comedy spot was like hilarious. I thought that was great. And for the women's rumble, I also thought it was. I do agree. We'll talk about it more, but I think there's definitely some stuff like near the end, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But overall, I say I liked the show, and it goes by like I was looking at the time people have been in the rumble. It's like there's no way this person like I feel like they just came out, and it says they've been in there for like 45 minutes already at the bottom, and like that new graphics they had like with all the stats and stuff. But yeah, I'd say I liked it overall.
Okay. David, what about you?
Yeah, definitely a fan of this year's Rumble. It had a lot of great moments. With the exception of one or two instances, which we'll talk about once we get a little bit deeper into it. I overall just enjoyed the entire thing. I've said it before. The Royal Rumble is my favorite of all the PLEs. Just the anything can happen vibe of it. I know the commentary team says it a lot about almost every WWE event, but this is the one
Yeah.
where you really have no
Backlash
idea
Paris, anything can happen.
yeah, you have no idea what can truly happen, who can truly show up, and things like that. So overall, I thought it was a good, fun show, and it's a great kickoff to WrestleMania season.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a really good show. I think there's some, like, not too much, but I think there is a little too much stuff in the middle. They always do this, but man, there's a lot of like celebs, and it's different when it's like they're really hyped. I can't remember who, what, oh God, who's the singer they showed, and he's saying Jack and Diane. Oh my God, I can't remember, but they went to him, and it's clear they're like, oh, we want to show on the big screen. I don't know, like, oh, come on, I love it. And they go to him. It's like he looks like he does not want to be there at all. It's like, then don't show that guy. Don't sit on him for
Yeah,
I'm
30 seconds.
thankful for all those celebrity breaks because I got home like right as the Rumble
That's fair.
started, and in between in between the match of Cody and KO, like as soon as he pulled the thing down, I ran up, took a shower, and by the time I got out, the men's Rumble was
yeah.
starting.
And you know what?
So
That is
that's
fair
what it's
because
useful for.
yeah, and it is fair because you don't just want match, 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 match. But that's where it's like, other than that stuff, like a little there, I didn't need Paul or Pat McAfee's best Colts moments or whatever. But that's like literally like the only like cons I have, and I get why they do that. I think overall it was a really great show. We'll talk about each match individual. I thought both. Rumbles had great surprise moments, great booking overall. There is some odd stuff in both Rumbles that is head scratching, especially the women's. There's one that felt like not in a bad way, but not in a lawsuit way. It felt like very Vincey of like there's things Vince would do with Rumbles where he would just make it very, very obvious who would win, and you go like, oh, why do that, like have some sort of drama there. And I feel like Triple H is the guy that's like, hey, in 6 months you know what's going to happen, but he still likes his in surprises, so we'll get there. But overall I think it's one of the more memorable ones. I think the 4 match system works. Also, you could have fit in a 5th match if you didn't have the longer matches, but no, I thought 4 was good for this. And the Rumble, both Rumbles, I think they delivered. So like as a show overall, like if I'm ranking, it's probably like a 4.5. I need to go back and think about it, but I think it's one of the better Rumbles we've had this year. I think the winners we'll get into all depends on
Better Rumbles we've had this year.
Yeah, better Rumbles we've had this year. The winners all depend on where you are in fandom. I can kind of get why some people are like a little annoyed or mad, but not really. Like, and I'm talking about, take out the people that are stans, right? Anybody that like has a wrestler in their profile picture, not ironically, like S-Bubs, you have like the Rhea and Ripley thing. That's fine. And the Tiffany thing, that's fine. But the people that's just like, their life is Liv Morgan, their life is Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Like, don't, not those people. Take out those people. I'm talking about the real wrestling fans that are, hey, I'm a fan of overall, but like this winner awful, this winner awful. I don't think so, which is kind of surprising. Maybe that I might defend some of them, but I thought there was lots of good moments here. And we're going to go out of order because I want to talk about the men's first because we're just hot off that, and obviously a wild kind of hour or so. But David, before we get to the specifics, what did you think of just the men's Rumble overall?
I thought the men's Rumble overall, it was good. There were some kind of meaty spots that just didn't need to be there. I was also surprised that there were no NXT show outs for the men's. The women's got 5. There were none for the men. You only really got 2 spots filled by non-WWE guys, and that was the Joe Hendry spot and the I Show Speed spot. And I am disappointed that I Show Speed did not come out with his phone so I could get that moment. But other than that, yeah, it was a pretty good match. I am happy with the ending of it. It's not where I thought that they would go, but like Biggie was saying right afterwards, you know, you got kind of emotional feeling that, and now you can say main event Jey Uso really is main event.
Can you though? Can you? I want to ask. I want to ask this.
I was gonna say, I was just
Day,
listening to
day one of a 2-night event.
I was gonna say I was just listening to a show reviewing a great WrestleMania 27, where Alberto Del Rio won the Royal Rumble, and he was the first match on the card.
That's my thing, David. So, because you've definitely been the biggest proponent of this. I think when we started the podcast, because this is when Jay constantly would he'd get to the main event, but he'd lose IC title world. Like he was on a losing streak for a while, and then he won the IC title. He'd get a win there. He was back with the crew, and they did War Games. So they're giving some wins, but you're always like, you can't call main event Jey Uso if he's losing. So. Can you call him main event Jey Uso if him and Gunther are in the middle of night 1? If he does a main event or wrestle, even night 1 or night 2, do you does that hurt that moniker for you? Because I'm telling you all right now,
only if he loses.
Only if he loses. Okay.
Only if he loses.
Okay.
If he pulls out the win, then he gets to keep the moniker, because even though he didn't main event WrestleMania, he will
main
then
event. That's what they're
3 nights Friday. Yeah.
he will then be main eventing
SmackDown main event. He catches in the Royal Rumble too.
When they do this, when they call it SmackDown WrestleMania, they do the Battle Royal. It's Jay and Gunther in the main event of SmackDown WrestleMania.
Hey,
okay.
He could pull a Charlotte and just challenge for the NXT belt. So
who is that? To Oba Femi. And it's just a 2-minute squash. Jay just loses. Just the entrance, Okay, so he loses. That's fair.
If he wins this, then he can keep the moniker of main event, because he will be main eventing his show consistently as champion. He may not main event WrestleMania, but he will main event his show consistently. So he gets to keep the moniker then. If he loses, it is down the card. It is mid-card Jey Uso for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. No, I'll go next because I already revealed a few of my feelings. But I thought it was a great men's Rumble. I think with each Rumble, you need like I suppose in the Discord, you need like a work rate moment, you need surprises, and then you also need like moments. As I last episode talked about, like the shirt of Paul Heyman guy. I'm a Braun Breaker guy because he's just my guy now. And again, he creates a moment. I'm with you, Dave. I'm surprised Speed didn't have the phone with him because
I
like
saw his POV of like his crew recording him. Like when they ran out to the arena, like the connection got like 1 FPS.
okay, that's
Like
fair.
they got through the ramp and like he did his pose and then it literally went to like 1 frame per second.
Look, if
So
Tyler
I think
Breeze
that's
can
what
do it,
was.
I Show Speed can do it. That's all
I
I'm
guess
saying.
not,
Tyler Breeze did it
he's-
10 years ago. I Show Speed should be able to do it right now.
he needs some better connection from the NXT current writer. But no, I think it has everything. To me, like the Rumble, it sounds weird, but the Rumble and Iron Man matches are very similar. Where every kind of 10ish 15 minutes you need a spot to like wake up the crowd, whether that is like a big entrance. So I thought something like Roman at 16, really smart. I was surprised he was that early, but so like, oh man, like you sit up in your chair. I was expecting Roman last 5, or like, okay, Joe Hendry or the speed mode, which like that to me is the perfect way of I'm fine with the, because I know people do that, like, oh, Pat took a spot or Tozawa, like he took Tozawa's spot. Like Tozawa was just gonna get thrown out by Jacob Fatu, where this gets them a little publicity. It again makes Braun Breaker like having, I won't say the moment of the night because I think the winner is the real moment because it's such a shock, but a moment, right? That's something that will be spread around, and it was kudos to that guy. Probably the worst
That was
spear
like
to
a
take I've seen.
Goldberg spear.
Yes,
Yeah.
Goldberg, jacked up on whatever he is in the 90s, concussed from the door. Because not only he got it hit in the gut, Braun's elbow came down on his neck and head. Like, CTE broke. Like, kudos to Speed. I don't know nothing about him, but kudos to that guy because you could see it coming. But again, Braun Breaker just continues to be such a great, just like kind of moment maker. But no, overall, I thought it was great. And I thought the pacing, it was really good. We'll get to it, but there's a moment with the 2014 fan of me when you had Cena, Roman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins all staring apart. I was like, I've been waiting for this for 10 fucking years. Like, I could not believe it. And there's more specific stuff we'll speak about in those moments. And then with the winner, it's like, for me, we've talked about this where we don't know which way it's going. I'd imagine it's Jay and Gunther. I don't think it's Jay and Cody. Unless like if they were like, hey, we're gonna, if they sat Cody
Homelander
down,
Cody
yes,
versus Jey Uso.
that's the only way, right? If they sat it down, and we'll talk about Homelander Cody later. If they're like, hey, we really think Jay, imagine that a year later, like we really think Jay's the guy. But like I could, if they were to go that way, sure, but they're not. So it's Jay and Gunther, and that's why it's like they can. It's a shocking moment because I already see the things of like could have had Punk, could have had Seth, could have Roman, and now it's Jay. Like the thing is, like the man is over. It's my last point with throw to S Bubs is it's what I talked about last week with the Gunther thing on why I thought he could win. It's when he beat Dragunov. It's like fuck, he could, the Yeats and the crowd could make him like fall into a championship. I'm not saying he's not working hard, he is, but I was like, that's why last week I thought, oh, they might do it. There's gonna be a moment, and this was the moment. This was where they're like, you know what? Yeah, let's just do it because you can still get to Cena and Cody, whether it's Chamber or whatever, easily. I don't know what they're doing with Seth and Roman and Punk. Will get there because they're
I
like
feel like maybe like my theory is that's the main event
they're really
of night
intertwining
one.
them. Yeah,
I think it's triple threat and that's the real main event
and like we'll get there
of
again.
night one.
A triple threat for nothing is crazy. Like it's just triple
Yeah.
threat for beef. But that's why when
Yeah.
people are like, why is he winning? It's like, well, because like
Do a soul of WWE, like the soul of AEW.
yeah, so and that's where Moxley will return to screw over Punk and everything. But like that's the thing where Jay can win because he's not main eventing night 1 or night 2. He'll be the Del Rio spot. He'll be the middle of the match, and that's why they're doing it. And they can't, so they go for a surprise winner. Some people might not like that, and we won't know until 5 years later, right? Because Nakamura when he won was a surprise winner, but then years later you look at it and go, oh, you know what? It didn't go nowhere. So I won't say it was a waste, but it kind of felt like nothing. So if like Jay wins and just goes to Mania and loses to Gunther, then on night 1 or night 2, I'll say, you know what? Yeah, they should have just gave it to Cena. That was kind of a waste. Because like to me, this is as much as I don't I don't know if I love the idea of Gunther losing to Jay. To me, I'm with Dave where like you have to have Jay win this, even if it's for a Mankind Jeff Hardy. Hey, you're gonna have it for 2 months, and then Gunther's gonna beat you again. That's fine. Like give him a hot potato. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's what they did with Braun Breaker. Like he beat him
Exactly.
and held it for like 2 weeks, and then Braun beat him again.
Yeah, so I'm fine with the winner because it's just like it's in the crowd. It's different if it's a surprise winner. We're like, this doesn't make sense. Like he is like arguably the most over guy in that company. You can't look at the crowd. It doesn't matter what people say on Twitter, online. Like when he goes in there, he gets a reaction every time, and the people are with him. It what like he eliminated Cena, who's like the heart pick, and people were still cheering and whatnot. Like that's why when he had that moment with Trask on Netflix a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, he is like ascending. Whatever, I don't care what you want to say about his work rate or anything like that. He can't have a 5-star. It doesn't matter. Like that's what WWE is, an aura vibe sort of company. So overall, I thought the men's match was great with surprises, surprise winner, great layouts, work rate, great moments, things that set up future Mania matches. Like I'm not gonna say it's the best Raw match of all time or anything like that, but I feel like it's like if you're looking at Rumble 101, this is a way to do it. So what about you, S Bubs? What do you feel about the men's Rumble?
No, yeah, like I said earlier, I really enjoyed it, and like you said, yeah, a lot of stories built and like big moments, and yeah, I think the ending was definitely because it felt like, oh, this like Cena's definitely gonna win then if these are like the last few people, like if like Seth, Punk, and Roman were
Once
all
Punk
out.
was out, it was like, okay, to me, I was like, it's Cena's. Once Punk was gone, it's like they're giving it to Cena.
Yeah. So I really wasn't expecting the J win there. Even though my prediction was that that was my prediction. I said it's not Cena, but I don't know who it would be. So I guess it was Jay. So
And Jay is a pick like that. I don't know who it would be, but I thought it was gonna go, okay, they're out. I thought Logan's gonna get the heel heat, throw out Jay, and that's why when Cena wins, it's like, oh yeah, not that everyone's gonna boo Cena, but it's like, oh, no one's gonna cheer for Paul winning, so everyone will love Cena winning. And then when Paul went out, it did create that. Unlike we get to the women's, it created that. Man, like I said to Emily, I'm like Cena's. I said Cena's winning this, but like Jay still could. There's still a chance because of how popular it was, and a fantastic finish of go. I thought for sure, okay, attitude adjustment on the ring apron.
but I was
good.
also thinking like he was aiming it towards the floor, and I was like, Jay's not taking AA all the way to the floor.
What I thought he was going to land on the apron and then roll off. That's what I thought was going to happen. But no, great.
But he was
finish.
like that's why like he pointed it like he was gonna
Yeah,
throw him
he
just
did the
like to the
turn.
floor. At that
Yeah.
moment, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Homelander Cena. He's just AAing people. That's his new finish. Just AAing people off the floor.
He does what he did to Finn to Jay to win the Rumble.
Yeah. And he just wins by countouts in this last round. Like he just does that and just out of 10. But yeah, we can go over some moments. Jim Screws bring up, I believe, in Joe Henry. So talk about that surprise. Big pop for him. Got some showcase there. Very crazy to see Roman Reigns. Like that's why I did not think I guess he is Joe as well. I did not think Roman would be that early because I thought Roman would be in the bigger moments at the end. But just seeing like Roman and Joe Henry together was a polar bear in like what is it, Texas?
The
sort
polar
of
bear in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah, like it's like Roman Reigns fighting TNA world champion. Like who would have thunk? But yeah, we kind of all knew it was gonna happen. But big pop and fun little showing. He was in there for like 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, he got his moves in. He
Which
did
was
like
mostly clotheslines and a choke slam.
those are his 4 moves. Yeah,
moves
his
to do.
like the we will rock you,
Right.
standing ovation, choke slam, the like suplex where he like does that, and the kip up. Those are his 4 moves.
Yeah, you gotta get your shit in.
Yeah. No, and that's all that matters. You got to pop, and there you go. While we're on, who else was surprises? I'm trying to think.
AJ
men's.
Styles
Yeah.
return
AJ's back, so that's good.
with the old theme.
I was
Even though he is one of the rare people that said he likes his new theme,
I
and that he
saw that
wasn't
he was
sure why
annoying.
people are mad at it.
Yeah. To me, and for me, it's just like in a.
I think his new
kayfabe
theme is like
setting.
pretty good, but it's definitely like it was his heel theme.
This works better as a babyface. Plus, to me, it's like they're
It's-
doing the
it's
Cena
not
thing
rec-
where he's going out.
Yeah,
like-
it's not recognizable either. So if he pops up with the new one, it's going to be another one of the who is this moment. You want
Yeah.
that AJ Styles return pop,
Yep.
then you go with the recognizable thing. Like people hear that organ starting out, they know exactly what's about to happen.
And like kudos, like also I know he wasn't a main program with Cody last year, but I think AJ is one of those guys that he's just always gonna be over. I was surprised how loud, like he got a good pop, but then when he got in the ring, just the AJ Styles chant, it felt like when he debuted like 11 years ago. Like he's just perpetually
I feel
over
like
all
I
the
feel
time.
like Cody, AJ, and Paris is your main event there.
Cody, AJ,
Or
you
not
think?
Cody, Cena, AJ, and
Okay,
Paris
I was
for
like, they're
the
running
title.
Cody. They're doing the
Yeah,
same one
no.
again. See, I don't know if they would do that because then what? You think so? Cena wins Backlash again? The Paris one?
They have no Backlash is in Paris. It's
What's
like
in
its own
Paris?
show. They have Paris is getting its own like Clash at the Castle
Oh
type
right,
Yeah.
Clash
show.
in Paris. Right. Okay.
Backlash is
Thank you.
they
Yeah.
haven't announced where Backlash
When
is.
is that Clash in Paris
It's
happening?
like the same as the other. It's like August-ish. I think like
Okay.
after SummerSlam.
Yeah. I don't. I'm not gonna commit to the Cena pick, but I'm gonna commit to
Class in
AJ.
Parish is August 31st.
August
Yeah,
31st, so
it's the
after
same time
SummerSlam.
as
So
Bash in Berlin. Yeah, it's like they do that
okay.
show there.
Yeah, I could see AJ being top the card. I don't know about Cena. That'd be an interesting to run that back,
Yeah.
but yeah. So while we're on him, we got the. I think like we all kind of talk about the clear setup, but we had heard rumors of this, and AJ's kicking ass, all this stuff. Logan Paul did this, fun spot where AJ pushes him. He jumps all the way from the ring to the table. He jumps back to the steel steps, and then he pulls AJ's tights, kind of like a cheap elimination, and it looks like that's where we're going. I'm fine with that. Like, I don't think it's AJ's last WrestleMania. I'm in a weird place with Logan Paul. Not the personal stuff, because I don't like to do, but like, it is the thing of okay, the first 2 years of celebrity can wrestle, it's kind of like worn off now. It's like I need a little bit more, and I just feel like it's just a similar shtick. So I hope with AJ there is something. There was some fun stuff they did with LA Knight, but I wonder what the angle is there. But work rate wise, it'll be a good match, and I do think AJ will probably take that loss because I think AJ's like I think Paul, if you want to make him a full-time star, he does have to win a bit more on some of these big occasions, and I think that he will beat up. But I think that's a good mid-car match that at least AJ will like. I think that they can put on like a 4 out of 5 or something like that. So that's how do you guys feel about AJ and Logan if it's looking like we're going that way?
Um, I'm with you on not being a fan of Logan personally, either the Paul brothers personally, but I do think that the guy can go. I don't want it to be a WrestleMania match. Like, I'm okay with the celebrity matches for some of the non Big Four pay per views, and even on like maybe a SummerSlam that you have 2 nights of. I get it because it's the biggest party of summer, but WrestleMania is supposed to be your big one that everyone on your roster is working towards. And then to give it to a part timer, you don't need to sell tickets to WrestleMania using a part timer. You may need to sell tickets to Bad Blood using a part timer or something like that, but you don't need to do it for WrestleMania. People are going to buy the tickets, people are going to show up. So, for this instance, having someone as great as AJ, and we don't know this could be his last. I think that if he's healthy enough, he's got 2 or 3 more in him, but this very well could be if he doesn't stay healthy his last WrestleMania. Why waste it on Logan Paul?
So if future Hall of Famer Triple H sits you down, Dave, and says, "No matter what, we're using Logan Paul," and you say not AJ, what would you put him in then? If you're not wanting AJ and Logan, where would you put him? He has to be on the card though, not pre-show, not SmackDown WrestleMania. He has to be on night 1 or night 2.
Does it have to be in a wrestling role, though? That's the thing.
He's just he's on like the Waller effect or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
s-
I'd say
s-
yes to make it interesting. Yes, he has to be wrestling.
All right. If it is.
You want to think about it, or you want to do it right now?
No, I can do it right now. So if he has to be on the show,
Yep.
and
Wrestling.
you want him to get that moment, I would have him go against someone from the Judgment Day. You're going to get the pop for him.
Let Dom get the moment. Let Dom
Yeah.
and Logan Paul tear it up, and see who the crowd picks. Do a heel versus heel, Dom versus Logan Paul. See who the crowd picks, and they'll probably pick Dom. To be honest, I actually think they would.
Yeah, I think Dom would have the bigger reaction, and I would be entirely here for it.
Okay. Two updates is apparently I haven't seen it, but on the press conference, Cena gave a great promo. He says, which is so weird. A couple, like when he cut his Raw promo, he said, like, oh, I don't know if I got it, blah, blah. Then in the press conference, this was a quote, what is best for business is that I main event WrestleMania. That's Homelander John Cena right there. And then he announces he will compete in the Elimination Chamber, which we kind of knew because, like, or he'd be at Chamber, but he's going to be in it.
Yeah.
And I guess
Mhm.
I'm trying to find the actual quote, but people are saying that like Jay did say he is going for Gunther. I'm not sure where that is, so
I
I
mean,
could be
I feel like
wrong.
that's his promo on
Yeah,
Raw was like, if I get one more chance at Gunther, I can beat him. So it
which
was
is so
like,
funny because Gunther's two last tweets were 3-0, and it was a picture of him chopping Jay. And then Gunther's tweet tonight was "I wouldn't." So I like that. So it'll be interesting. But
Speaking of the elimination chamber, we'll
yep.
talk about when we get to the women's rumble. And this isn't about the chamber match itself. I think there's another possible match that I think could happen at the elimination chamber
Oh,
involving
okay.
someone in the rumble, which I thought about, and then I thought about it more, and I was like, oh, I feel like this is definitely gonna happen, especially with
Okay.
some other reports that came out. So we'll talk about
Nikki
that
Bella
later.
entering the chamber.
Maybe
I
we'll
mean,
get
I
there.
feel like you got 6 spots in there. Nikki Sawa hitting the forearms.
Yeah, yeah. Any thoughts on the AJ Paul S Bubs for Mania? It's looking like that
No,
could
I
be the
feel
route
like
they're
it's
going.
gonna be like a good match, like the Seth Logan or match from like a few years ago.
Yeah,
Like it's
or
just gonna
Ricochet
be
Logan at SummerSlam too. It's gonna
yeah.
be that
It's
type
like
of
they just
stuff.
put him
Yeah,
with like the most top tier
yeah,
workers to like make it look good.
yeah. Okay, we talked about the speed moment. That was great with
I say
Braun.
another moment, Braun
Yep.
spearing Roman. Like when Roman's
Oh
spearing
yeah,
everyone, then Braun spears him, and he hit him also with one of those
big boy
Goldberg
spear.
type spear.
Yeah,
Like I saw someone describing he crumpled Roman Reigns with the
yeah.
spear.
I even said to Emily, like, you can't be spearing Roman like that. That's the top guy. Like, you can't be doing that. But such a
Sending
great.
to Paul Catraz if he spears Roman like
Yeah,
that.
he's gonna lose the title to like R-Truth on Monday or something. But great moment of him spearing him and then Roman eliminating him right away. And I really cannot wait for the day because I know people say like, what do you think? Roman's just gonna work with his family the rest of his life. But I do think we're gonna get before Roman laces it up or
Yeah.
whatever does the
And
Cody puts
and
the boots in
Braun
the
is
ring.
definitely like a Paul Heyman guy
Yes.
from like what you can tell like the behind the scenes stuff and just like who they let him do this stuff with.
Yes.
Like
Like to me, if you were to say, hey, in the next 3 years, Braun and Roman are main eventing one of the nights of WrestleMania, absolutely. Like that is not other like next year to me, you could heat Braun up and have him win the fucking Rumble or vice versa. And that match, like I think Braun and Roman will happen before it's all said and done. Barring like a big injury or a lawsuit controversy, something like that. Like I think we're all good there. So I'm very excited for that. Another moment that I was very excited, but I keep finding myself being disappointed. I thought the set was great. So Rowan came out 16. Can't remember who was at 17. I think it was like Nakamura. But then at 18 was Drew. So they kept them very close. And great setup where the music hits and Roman, he acknowledges it. He turns around
did
and
you
it's like,
see
oh shit, there's
the
Drew.
report that's going around about Drew? That
No.
apparently got eliminated too early. Is the
I
and
was
that he walked he like ran like walked out of the building afterwards and that he was pissed.
like he was shoot eliminated too early, or like they said like
Apparently, he said like the report said like someone got their shit in and like took him out early or something like that.
well, that's why I was wondering because it was this weird spot where
Which
he
I feel like
goes
it could be a story again. Same with
Yeah.
like
it
the
could
I
be.
him
mean,
walking out after CM Punk return
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But
It was
it
a
did
weird
seem weird.
elimination
Like
though.
Drew was like
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, I don't
Because
know
he went
who.
over the
I don't
rope.
remember who eliminated him.
This is what
he
it
got
was
eliminated
Jay,
by Priest.
but it was Jay and Damien together because what it was Priest, but it was a weird way where like Damien and Jay like both like pushed into Drew
Yeah.
and he got eliminated. So that's why I don't know if those reports are true. We'll have to wait and see. But that's
Yeah.
why for me it was such a weird thing where you have this moment between Drew and Roman. I said last episode like you gotta start. You don't have to do that with me, but you gotta tie that together because it's just weird if every week Drew's talking about Roman and Roman doesn't give a fuck about this guy. It's like, well, like whatever, dude. It's like when Seth like on Raw was talking about Punk again. It's like, man, it's over. Like tonight was fine when it's like I'm beeline for Punk, but it's like you have to do something. So tonight when Drew came out and Roman acknowledged him, I was like, okay, That's perfect. That is like Roman is acknowledging he's a threat. Here's this guy. So I was surprised that Roman didn't throw him over. I thought that was the clear thing, because what another great way to get Drew pissed off, of like Drew's on a roll and Roman dumps him over. And it's like, fuck, man. And that's a way to kind of keep them apart for a little bit, because I feel like if Drew dumped Roman would be like, I'm gonna go after him. So that's my I'm want to see the follow up, because I've said before, you do need to Drew
I
and
put it
Roman.
in the Discord.
Okay. Drew and Roman, to me, one-on-one has to happen 2025, and not in like a Saturday night's main event, like a Raw. It has to happen SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like, so this tonight was like a 50-50 for me. It made it look like it was a big deal, but then Drew's elimination felt like nothing. It just like, oh, he's another dude. So that's why it is. I'm wondering what this Drew situation is. So something went wrong with McIntyre. When he got to the back, he was screaming and cussing. Someone had to get their moves in at the expense of a number of stories in the match. He loudly screamed and stormed out. Now, if this was real, I wonder if it's like something that happened in the moment, or if they pitched him before the match and he's just pissed that it happened. I don't know, but Buddy just signed a big contract, so I don't think he's going anywhere. But yeah, it did feel odd to me. The elimination felt odd to me. And
Yeah,
Damien's on SmackDown now, so it's not like they're setting up a program.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too. I was like, it felt weird to have Damien, and Damien got eliminated like right after. I'm pretty sure, like 20 seconds after or something like that.
Unless it's just they said the transfer window ends with like the Rumble, but like Drew
I mean,
could
they
show
never
up on SmackDown.
they never said that. I don't think so.
I saw a tweet about it as from somewhere like
I
a
didn't
wrestling
see
account,
it.
but even then, Drew could show up on SmackDown and just beat up Damien, and that sets up Mania. And like, they're both not doing anything, so I guess you could do Damien and Drew. Like, that doesn't excite me too much, because I feel like it's just a placeholder for both of them. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else on
Yeah.
Drew or Damien?
It's just weird that, to the point of him getting eliminated, he had 0 eliminations in this. Like, and that's just for someone of his caliber. That just, it seemed odd. So that does lend some credibility to it. Now, granted, there were some other people, that didn't have any eliminations. Seth didn't have any. Sami Zayn didn't have any. Couple of other people. I think Roman, Braun Breaker, and Jacob Fatu were tied with the most at 4 apiece. But the fact that Drew didn't get a single elimination, and that whole storyline, I mean, it does lead some credence to that.
Yeah. And on that point, I thought Jacob Fatu had some good showings. I feel like he needed one more. I feel like he needed like a Braun Breaker moment, not even with a celeb, but I just feel like he didn't get a big moment, and I didn't love him get eliminated by Braun. I know why they're doing that. They're setting up their mini feud here, but I felt that he was going to have like the Rumble record tonight, not the overall record, but just like the most eliminations, and he just tied with Roman. So I thought it was a good showing for Fatu, but I feel like the way people are talking about Braun is how I thought they'd be talking about Fatu after this match. It wasn't. So good showing, but not great in my opinion for like the booking wise. But I guess Jacob and Braun's gonna do their thing for the next couple months. Last monster standing, and I don't know. I'm not sure. And no Solo tonight either, which I was surprised by. So
He's
no
really
Tonga
in it.
either.
Yeah.
I feel like Tom Tonga's like cause like what you would have him team up with Jacob, but then like he'd just be one of those guys that gets like thrown out.
But like in kayfabe, which I know is a stupid thing to say, but like why is Tama there? Or why is the Miz there over Tama? Like Tama has more like relevancy than the Miz
I mean,
lately.
the
but-
Miz is a 2-time Grand Slam
fuck
champion.
I hate I hate
Yeah.
when they start doing 2-time Grand Slam. That's just boring. You're just a Grand Slam champion once. Like you can't do it multiple times. But
Well, and the Miz is exactly who I thought about when I was saying that, there were no NXT guys in this. That role with the Miz, you could have easily swapped him out with an
Get Trick in
NXT
there.
guy and been just fine. Oh God, I would have loved, especially if Carmelo had still been in at the time. I know he went out a lot earlier, but if Carmelo was still in and then you have Trick come in, that would have just been amazing. But yeah, it was a
66,000
wasted
people.
opportunity.
We'll talk about the women's. There's lots of the NXT women got popped where the main roster women did not. So people would have known who Trick was. 66 plus people, 66,000
that
plus
Trick.
people. Yeah, saying whoop that Trick. Like I know they might have moments down the line, but I thought that was a gimme. So I agree with you where it's like, yeah, tell the Miz he's gonna be on the pre-show tonight and get Trick in there. Like
Yeah.
because especially too, every time there's an NXT person in the women's, they're like, oh, Julia's defending her title coming up. Roxanne has a match with Julia coming up. Lash Legend they kept like promoting NXT a lot in the women's Rumble, which is great. So the men's, it's like get somebody on there. Like technically, Joe Henry is your NXT guy. Like he's the guy that's been on. He was the Jordan Grace spot, but. Yeah, it's Mello. We quickly talk about him. I fucking give up. I thought for sure. I even got hyped because dumb. I know on Twitter he posted an Iron Man picture. He said something about like tonight he's gonna be indestructible or something. I never thought he was gonna win. I never thought he's gonna be in the final four. But I thought, hey, like the same way Roxanne, who's not even on the main roster yet, has the second longest Rumble time in history for men and women. Second longest. You can't throw Mello, who's an uber talented athlete, even half of that. Like he was just a nothing thing again. Like I've given up on I don't think Triple H sees it in him. I don't know whose coffee he pissed and what he did, but like he came in, was in for a few spots, and got chucked out. Literally nothing.
The first elimination of the match.
Jay Mello.
Triple H's Jay White.
Yeah, Jay Mello. Yeah, he was the first elimination. I could not believe that. I thought he had even for meme purposes, other than getting thrown right away, I thought this was worse than I even thought it could have been. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Mello. Penta, he made great opening. They had Ray and Penta to start off. Penta technically made it a while, but technically not. He should have been eliminated like 5 minutes into the match. There is screenshots. Both his feet did touch the ground, but that's okay. I knew the second they didn't show any replays, I'm like, oh no, it's not 1 foot.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's his first Rumble, but I thought same thing. I thought he shined more than like Fatu did, in my opinion, which is like they're loving Penta right now. But I think Penta and Ray, good moments. Penta still.
I like that he did the Lucha Bros spot before being thrown out, like the step on the back and the Destroyer.
Yeah, and then they even had like this weird moment where he was like teaming up with Roman. It was the oddest thing.
Oh yeah, they were just doing the tag team moves.
It was the oddest thing. I loved it, but it was the oddest thing for Roman to do that and then not to spin right after. He was like, "Yeah, do it to this guy."
That's him telling Phoenix look who I can do this with if you don't get out of there right now.
That was the only moment in this match Roman felt like big dog Roman, because he was laughing and smiling. I'm like, where did the tribal chief go? Why is he is Penta gonna be rocking an OTC shirt? He saw the merch sales. He's like, we gotta get him in the bloodline.
Gotta do a collab shirt.
Yeah, and a mask too. Roman's gonna wear a mask when they do the Mexican tour. But yeah,
it's like when they did the Edge and Ray team a few years ago. Where Edge had the
terrible mask. Yeah, Roman's gonna do that next time. But yeah, any thoughts on Penta, Ray, or anything in the beginning there? I have a few more things about, but anything about Penta or anything else?
No, he got an amazing showing. I mean, he was the 14th person eliminated, so he lasted almost as much as half the field there. He got some great spots. I'm glad that they started off with him and Ray so that they could just get their shine in.
Yeah,
I thought they were just going to go speedy, just them two, and then they would get to the Rumble from there. But the fact that they went with, like I said, the flippy shit beginning with the first 5, just guys who could go. I'm like, all right, let's do this.
That's what I was gonna say too. If anyone's keeping track, unless I missed one, Penta did 5 Zero Meros. He was trying really hard. They gave Ludwig the spot where Ludwig was doing his, his little chest thing, and he's not getting in the ring and stuff. He gets it, and Penta throws him right away. And he tries to do it, and the refs pull him away. And then Penta's with his finger, he's like, "Come here!" But then Ludwig didn't see him, so he wanted to do a Zero Mero to his face, but he didn't get a chance to. So that would have been 6. I guess I could, but I saw 5. So there you go. He was popping off, and I can't remember who he did it to.
Yeah.
So he did it to someone that stopped the mid Zero
I think
Mero.
I think that was Jacob. I think that was Jacob Fatu. Yeah.
It was Jacob.
We need to do that for his Mania match, like we did the super kicks last year. We need to do a Zero Miedo count.
Yeah. And then the only critique I had of this match, which was I think other than I could give Fatu a bit more shine this side. The only real critique is we'll get to the Rumbles match. They had the spot where Chelsea Green threw all these women over the ropes, and they didn't go over and they look at her, they get in, they beat her up. They did the exact same spot with Chad Gable with the Luchadors. He threw Santos, Ray, Penta, and somebody else. They all skinned the cat. Penta could not skin the cat, so Penta's not great at the ropes
He just
right now.
rolled under.
He just rolled in, but like. It's weird whoever the agent is, like you don't watch the Women's Rumble, be like, hey, like cut that spot. So, and it's fine if you do it like different years, but it was really weird to have an identical spot. So that's literally my only, I think, negative of that. Oh shit, I gotta talk about the Punk stuff too. But that was my only negative for that, for the match. Like it was odd. That's a moment. It's like, oh man, wrestling feels fake when that happens because it just feels like it's like completely scripted out. But
oh yeah, the whole Punk Seth Roman stuff.
I will say that moment though where Seth runs up, curb stomps Roman, and then
He
just
did
starts going
a
ahead.
double foot stomp
he
to
slipped
Roman.
and he fucking
Yeah.
rocked Roman big time.
I was like, holy shit.
Thank God they're friends in real life, and that's just like, oh my bad, bro. Because yeah, when he hit him, just like
If that was another guy, they're getting sent to the Impact Zone.
that's true.
By
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's true. Drew's not having any of that. Or if that's Punk, so you fucking did. Imagine if it was Punk. We would have got the Seth and Punk are fighting backstage right now. Penta's trying to break it up, but he can't. He's just zero mirroring. But like, so
Malachi is also there, like at all, and he's just watching.
Hook is just hanging out watching as well, just minding his own business.
2 weeks from now, we're going to have Punks in, and then I put him in a headlock.
And then I put him in a headlock, yeah. So, yeah, we talked about this where, yeah, it was Cena, and then Roman had the stare down, and then Punk next, like I said, just 2012 to 2014 lore all over the place. Great moment. Seth, not the same level star, but it made sense for, like, he is a vital part of that story. It's like, sure, Hawkeye or Black Widow aren't the most important Avengers, but they're part of the original six. That's why I don't care. We fucking need Moxley because that's still the missing piece of like he should be in this moment too. But anyways, I love that they get in there. Seth has no interest in doing the stare down. He goes right for Punk. They all start fighting, very on purpose. Punk and Cena did not touch at all. Not one little bit. So you know they're saving that for the big one-on-one, which will come at some point. It better. And then, yeah, they led to this moment where everybody's down. And this was fantastic. Because, like, I'm a fucking Shield lore junkie. Shield was my shit back in the day. Like, the things that kept me watching in 2014 was Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and the Shield, and AJ Lee. I had those 6, and that was it. The rest of those times were dark years. But anyways, so... everyone's down, and it's Seth and Roman. They have this great shot where Seth's looking a different way and over his shoulder. Roman just sitting there and he's motherfucking around like, oh, I hate this piece of shit. And what a moment where they're fighting and CM Punk eliminates the fucking Shield to go all the way back. When how did they debut? They saved CM Punk's title reign, and then
it was all in Indianapolis.
Yeah. All in Indianapolis, yeah. They had Paul throw out Punk, which I was like, please don't make that the main match. And then right away they transitioned, so it was good. It's just get Paul the heat. But man, that was such a great, whoever did that piece of business, that was great. And that's where, yeah, that's what you were saying, where for me, I could believe you, but the fact that Seth just continues to get geeked out, I still could see the scenario where
he's taking the pin for Punk and
or he's not even in the match. He's like on commentary. He's the fucking ref. Like, it's like I think you're right with everything they're showing us. It reads triple threat, triple threat, triple threat. But if you look at the history, Seth always gets left out. We talked about this last podcast. So like, I want to believe you're right,
but at the same time, it's like he gets put into it, like the match last year, like the tag match. Like, yes, I feel like at the same time, it's like we need the third guy.
And it's tough because, like, I do like the idea of the triple threat match, but I think I still just want, like, Roman and Punk one-on-one more. If you ask me, like, I just think
you
there's more...
You want to wait for Mox until you do the triple threat.
You need the four-way, because then you got Punk in, the creator of the Shield, and then the Shield. But no, it's just like... It's kind of like when I still want Seth, Drew, and Punk, but it's like we had to do those one-on-one matches first, so I'm not sure. But I suppose you think we're getting the triple threat.
I think so. I feel like everything is pointing to that. But then at the same time, I don't know what this favor is. Like because I feel like it feels like I don't know. Like, I don't know what the
Didn't come
favor
up
is. I
tonight
have
at
no
all. Like
idea.
it came up, but not like
Yeah.
there was no like Paul Heyman had more interactions with Rollins tonight than anybody because him and Rollins were like I couldn't hear what they were saying. They were yelling at each other. Rollins gave him the middle finger, which was like a great moment, but there was no like drama between like Roman Punk and Paul. Like it was Paul was all Roman tonight. So I don't know, yeah, what the
Yeah.
favor is. And again, I still want to know kayfabe, like what is the reason they get to main event over one of the Rumble winners? Because like it's fine. I get the biggest stars, but like it's not a retirement. It's not a return match. Like is it just because these guys hate each other so much? Like I'm very curious. Like how do they? It feels like such a weird way for the story of the Rumble is Punk needs to win it because he finally wants a main event WrestleMania, and then like how does he get his main event? Just some random match with like Seth and Roman. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm still confused about that part. But yeah, Dave, what are you thinking right now? With are you thinking triple threat? You thinking this is going to be dealt somewhere else? Like what's going on? Because none of them are. Because we kind of okay, if Seth's with Gunther, that takes him out. Then that's Punk and Roman. But now Seth's he's a free man. I don't think he's win the chamber unless they're doing Seth and Cody. But I don't. I don't foresee that happening. So
Yeah, it's a little bit weird how they're going to fit everyone in at this point with Jay taking the win. That kind of throws a kink into a lot of stories. I don't want a triple threat, but I do see that being a possibility, unless again, like we said earlier, Jay is not the main event. He pulls a Sheamus or he pulls an Alberto Del Rio and is the opening match, and maybe that's how they do that so that Punk and Seth and their blood feud can still be in the main event of night one. But I'm really hoping that they don't go the triple threat route because, like I said, I want him to be there.
But then, and even in your kayfabe route, like, shouldn't then the one of the women get the main event spot? You know, like, shouldn't Charlotte be like, I should be night one? You know, like, or like, I don't know. Is there like maybe are we
I
like
I
we
don't
just
I don't think
assumed?
I
I
don't
was
think
just gonna say like,
Charlotte's match
go ahead.
is big enough to be a main event unless I mean it's
And
got
with
to
the
be a
feud, it's
huge
just
build.
like, yeah.
I'm just saying like kayfabe wise when we're supposed to believe a wrestling this, but I guess isn't there always a shot that's like I don't think it would be, but is there a shot it's not the main event? Like, is there a shot that it is just like Cena or like Punk, Roman, Seth in some middle of the card like feud? Like, that's hard for me to believe, but like, I wonder if there's like a shot of that. I don't know. It's just, it's like I said, it's a double negative to me for them to do the story of Punk's trying to main event WrestleMania. If he just gets it randomly, it's again, I also don't believe Paul Heyman the character has that much clout. He can. You're telling me he can go to Triple H and say like the main event has to be
Yeah.
Roman and Punk? Like it's odd. It's like with Cena it makes sense, right? I got to get to WrestleMania. I lost Rumble. I'm going to the Chamber. So it's like it'd be like if Cena loses the Chamber and they're like, guess what, Cena? It's Cody versus Drew. We're gonna add you. It's gonna be a triple threat.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, thank you. You know, like the story they're telling is Punk is trying to get to the main event, and
He's got to
he
finish the
didn't.
story.
He, yeah, and I don't know if the story's gonna finish, but I know we'll again, it's stuff I overthink, but it's just like it's stuff that they are telling me as a viewer, and then they're gonna just like whatever. The same way it's like I wish they'd stop saying the person's gonna main event WrestleMania. They just get a title match
Yeah.
at WrestleMania because like I've always been the mindset other than a retirement it should go on last, but like it doesn't. How many years it doesn't, you know? So
Yeah.
anything else men's rumbles wise spots entrances you want to talk about that we've missed?
I'm trying to think.
My notes are depleted.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's
David,
it for me.
okay, let's do the women's one. So women's, we had Charlotte winning it all. You know, S Bub's good job on the pick there. I kind of forgot too that I had Jey Uso, so I'm very happy. What number was Jey Uso? Did any of us get that number?
Nope.
No, he was like in the middle-ish. Like he was like
He
an
was number
18
20.
or something. Yeah.
That's
He
so
was number
funny.
20
So
and none of us had him.
if anyone's listening, we do a draft where all of us have 10 superstars. So it works like a fantasy draft, like for sports. And we had some things where all of us got 5 random numbers. And if one of those numbers produced a winner, we got some additional points. We had 50 numbers between us all. No winners from that spot. So it's just kind of funny there. So yeah, Jay got that, but I got
Yeah.
the Rumble win. So S-Bubs, I'm
I
coming for
forget
you. I
if the
know.
Rumble win. I need to look back if it was 100 or 50 because we did the same for Money in the Bank because I think it was
Yeah.
100 and I ended up getting 50 because Drew lost his his
Right.
cash in,
Yes,
and that's what I
yeah.
got because it's minus like a ton
Yeah.
if you fail it. And he failed it
Yeah.
the same night, but
Either way, David, I'm sorry you got no Rumble winners this year. You know, maybe next year. You know, is I kind of forgot that I had Jay, so I didn't even know who had seen on their roster, their draft
I've
roster.
seen it.
Yeah, so you were close. It was really close
I mean,
to.
I have my chain like that's I'm calling in my 100 points in like a
Yeah,
month from now
yeah.
for the chamber.
It paid off. No, it was a good get. But yeah, so
And I
Charlotte,
as Charlotte, yeah.
yeah, she got it. I think it was when we recorded the last episode. I said, okay, I thought Charlotte was winning, but even this weekend, I was rewatching Rumbles and I forgot with the first Rumble Cody won. They did the thing where he was injured from the pec and they just did nothing but return vignettes and he just came in and won. And I remember everyone complaining like, oh, they should have left it a surprise. It was so obvious, but that's still how it went. And that's when Triple H was he didn't have complete power, but he had he had most of the power, and then Vince came back around WrestleMania season, WrestleMania Showtime. So when I was watching it run, I'm like, oh yeah, like Charlotte's for sure gonna win this because they're doing the same sort of method with this, and I thought this was a good Rumble. Overall, not like one of the best. I think there's moments that was like, oh, this is top tier stuff, but other stuff that was head scratching. I think there's stuff that we talked about where it was very curious to see who got the big pops and who didn't. Obviously, yeah, no AJ Lee, but I never bought that. I said I'm in the camp that she's never coming back. I don't want to get excited for ever again. It just like I don't know. So if people are mad about that, I get it because I saw a lot of people be like Nikki
I
Bella. We
actually
could have
didn't
this. We
see
could have
that
that.
many people mad about the AJ Lee thing because I don't know if that many people were like
No, I saw
fully it
people
was
mad about the
gonna
Nikki
happen.
Bella at 30.
Okay.
It was like
Yeah.
we got Nikki Bella and we could have got boom boom boom, and people are like we could have got Oscar. It's like half these people you're listening are like injured or they got shit going on. Like leave them alone. And whatever you say, I'm not. We'll get there. I'm not the biggest fan of like Nikki Bella as the wrestler, but she got a good pop. So the crowd was happy to see her. It did its job. I don't want her to be back really in the weekly rotation. It sounds like she might be like semi part time, and I like Dave was around for that era where for me it's just like she did step up her game, but her game still was never the level of every. They tried to make it feel like, and as you've probably heard this narrative where they are doing the Divas Championship, and then AJ Lee tweeted. There's two things. One, it was something about like giving Divas a chance and all this stuff, and then she also tweeted at Stephanie McMahon about how we don't get paid good enough, and it was like a really like, oh fuck, like she directly and Stephanie gave some like, I hear you, sister, and the pay like we're all working for a better tomorrow. It was some like bullshit political
Yeah.
answer, but Stephanie was pissed somewhere. But to me, like AJ was the real start of the revolution, and then the four horsewomen came in, and they tried to do this revisionist history of, well, the Bellas were a part of that too. They weren't. They were the old guard that all of us were like, God, can Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, Bailey, Paige, can someone beat her and take that and then move away from that? And she did step her game up. Don't get me wrong. She got better. She can put on a great 3.25 match. But to me, she never ever got to the tippy top level as far as talent. So if her being back weekly, for me, that's not an exciting thing. That's like not Jeff Jarrett on AEW bad, but it is like that's a tune out for me. It's like I don't need this.
Yeah.
But she was 30, and Charlotte won. And before I throw it over, it's just like, yeah, it was some good spots, some good surprises, but yeah, it showed a lot of people on the roster that are still crowd is not invested in. Some people that I was surprised by, and I think which we'll talk about. The last 5 minutes of this match was kind of a dud. Other than anybody that was worried about Rock, because I've seen this narrative of man, what's Triple H going to do with Roxanne on the main roster? I don't think you have to worry at all because tonight was like the
I was
Pop
saying, I feel
H
like
stamp.
Roxanne has like 10 different women and men who like advocate for her like backstage
Yes.
like all the time.
Tonight
Because like
was the stamp of
Bailey loves
approval.
her, Natty loves her, Punk loves her. Like
Yes.
Sean probably tells Triple H, you better
She's great,
book her
man. She's
good.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can't get AJ back, but she's the next best thing. But like like I said, she's behind Gunther with the second longest time. She's beating Ray. She's beating Shawn. Like she's not even on the main roster yet. They gave an NXT talent. That's what she's like 23, 22. Like they gave
23
that.
years old.
Yeah, she's 23 years old. No one should worry. This was Triple H putting the stamp of like Roxanne's going to be a star in the future. Get ready. So I thought the final two, that was great to have it Charlotte and Roxanne. The other stuff we'll get to was very odd. I'm going to throw to S-Bubs first because you know what, S-Bubs, You've been right a lot of times, but I've seen this graph you have about your plan to get
I
Io
was
now.
on. How many did I get? I think I got like four. I got all the way to Io and Julia stare down in the Rumble. That's as
Yeah,
far as my plan
exactly.
got,
And we
but I
still
didn't
could
get
get
the
Rio
Rumble
and
win.
Io at Mania, but we didn't
I
get the
mean,
win
yeah,
here. Yeah, but what did you
yeah.
think of the Rumble overall?
No, yeah, I liked that. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think yeah, there was more NXT people than I expected.
Hmm.
Uh, I'd say what other
Oh, before you
like
continue, I
interest.
just wanted to show this tweet that I really liked. Kira Tozawa tweeted, 8 years since I came to WWE. This was making my first entrance in the Royal Rumble. Next year, I want to take even one step closer to ring. Thank you. And there's just a picture of him knocked unconscious, which is so funny. Again, in kayfabe stuff, he took one shot to the back by Mello, and they're like, he's out. But then like he
I mean, he
wrestles
is
like
he's like a level zero
he is,
jobber here.
which is so funny. But continue. I just saw it too, and like I gotta share it before we move on. But yeah, continue.
Um, I was gonna say, yeah, I guess we can talk about like that, like the Nia eliminating everyone
Yeah.
spot. Like I feel like it would have been like you could have had all those same people get eliminated, but it feels like one by one. Even if Nia eliminated all of them one by one, I think I would have liked it more.
Yeah.
Cause
It
and
was
it was also like it was like, are these people like who's eliminated here? Did these
mhm.
because some people touched the ground first and then the others like sort of fell. Because obviously Nye can't like reach everyone
Mhm.
at the same time. But I don't know how many people she got. She definitely has the women's record now
Yeah,
for
she
most
was
She
tied with
she's
Rhea
eliminations.
this
credited
year.
for she's credited with 9 for this Royal Rumble.
I
9
think her and Rhea
eliminations.
were tied at 20, so I think that gets her to 20 now, which is great. I
Yeah,
got
I
Naya,
think
so I'm
last
excited
year
for next
Nia,
episode.
yeah, Nia was talking about like last year because she had 8 and R Truth, but R Truth didn't
He was
count.
an
So now
official
now
member.
she
Yeah, yeah.
officially has the 9 eliminations.
Yeah. And that's a weird thing because the spot was a bunch of people get thrown at the side, so it's like Stephanie goes
I
down, and
think it
then
was like five
Ione.
or six,
Yeah.
like
So
five, I think.
if you like, if anybody for some reason listens to this and didn't watch, it's like all these women are hanging to the bottom of the rope and kind of fighting, pushing, jockeying for position, and then I comes over and pushes one. And it's like a domino effect. I actually don't mind that because that's a spot where I'm like, I've never actually seen the Rumble of a bunch of people on the bottom fighting, and one person like makes sense to take them all out. I liked the spot. What I didn't like is it took out all the believable winners in a second. It was the
Yeah.
tension, and you could even feel in the crowd. The good thing is when Charlotte won, there was a pop when she won, but it just felt like, oh, we know, because it was
I saw
Roxanne.
someone say it was like in the is it the 2014 Royal Rumble
When they
where
throw
they
Daniel
had
out
Kane
midway.
they had Kane and Big Show
Yes.
eliminate all the people who
Hmm.
could win to make
Yeah.
like the winner of the match be like, oh, he took out the bad
Yes.
guys.
Because
Though I feel it
Daniel
definitely worked
Bryan.
because people didn't boo Charlotte like they booed Roman and
Yes.
The Rock, but I feel like it was the same idea.
Because Daniel Bryan went out at like the 20 spot, and then we all thought Roman was winning, but Dolph also that year was getting a mega push. That's when he like beat the Authority at Survivor Series, so we even thought like, oh, Dolph's the guy. But yeah, you're right. It was like, oh, it's just Roman. That's what happened with Charlotte, where even if I would have been fine with like Triple H and the people. At least Triple H, he's online all the time. He knows that like there's a whole debate, like Rhea or Bianca Io, how you don't have them in the final four is beyond me. I'm fine if you want to make it them and Nia, and even if you want to go like, hey, we want to get down to Charlotte, Roxanne, give Roxanne something, that's fun. But make sure those two are in the final four or the final five. So I thought to me that was a big, like it was just like you're on a high and just a big letdown, a big just like pop the balloon, and it was yeah, I didn't really understand that move. But how did you take it, David? Are you the same, or do you have a different angle on it, or?
Well, I liked not just getting a shine, but it did seem weird. So she's credited with looks like 7 of those eliminations coming at one point. Trish Stratus, Raquel Rodriguez, Stephanie Vicor, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Naomi are all part of that one quick succession. She's credited with eliminations 18
You have to
through
send me
24.
that sheet with the stats.
So it's it's interesting how she got the shine, but yeah, I also felt like there were a lot of lost moments with this whole thing. And if you are going to have Nia be the big bad, then I think that it needed to be more of a conqueror's thing to take her out than just, again, the whole wasted Nikki Bella spot.
Yeah, and then you got that, which I don't think they prepared for because the bit, like, I'd have to go back and listen to the men's rumble because there's a lot of noise at my house at that time. I could be wrong. If it's not the top, it's the top three. The pop that Alexa Bliss got, which if people are following, it was all this like contract. Is she there? Is she not yet? Da, 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 da. She came back, and man, you would have think it was fucking AJ Lee coming back. That pop was huge. And for me, I'm a guy that, like, me and Emily were talking about this before. I was not an Alexa Bliss fan in the early NXTs when it was Sparkle, Glamour, Bliss, like whatever. She's a cheerleader, right? Awful
Yeah.
gimmick she had. Just awful. But she got better. She got the Freddy Cougar glove, and then she became the goddess and all the stuff. So I wasn't watching WWE when she was with Bray, but I watched all her segments because the Firefly Funhouse stuff was all great, and their stuff was all great. So I think for me, it's a little bit of they missed her, but I do think it is that WWE fans just love Wyatt Lore and those characters. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's
Those
just
dolls
people.
are like saw someone say those are like some of the highest selling like
They are, yeah.
WWE merch items like ever.
And yeah, I don't want to discredit her. Maybe people legitimately did just miss her because she was for many years.
Gone for
She
2 full since Royal Rumble
23.
2023.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is
That was
yeah.
her last like appearance, I think, or match.
Because I just
So-
watched that. They had the last time she was there, they're teasing stuff with her and Bray, and then Bray, passes away like a couple months later. But after it was her versus Bianca, Bianca beats her, and in the crowd there's like an Uncle Howdy sort of mask. That was going to be the start of stuff. But with Bliss, like David was around, like it was that generation was the Four Horsewomen and Alexa Bliss. Like that's what it was. And she at one point kind of like peaked on them. So there was a time where she was the it girl. So maybe people just missed her, but monster pop, and she looked great. Great characteristics. Gear of the night. She's done that gear before, but man, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So great showing for Bliss.
For Alexa Bliss during her main time, it was one of those things where Bailey had the wrestling ability and she had the gimmick. Sasha, of course, had the wrestling ability, but her promos were hit and miss. They all kind of were the same, things like that. Alexa Bliss had the ability to have just pure character that was backed up by wrestling ability.
And
So
great
while
promos
the
all
others,
the time too.
yeah, while the others were wrestling ability with this extra, hers was all the extra plus I can back it up in the ring, and that's what made her different, and that's what made gravitated people towards her. So it was the bad girl image at one point. It was the you can't beat me kind of smarky image at one point before the Bray Wyatt stuff. So that's what made people really like her. And then yes, when she went with Bray, it was just a whole nother level to that character. So of course everyone missed her and wanted her to return. And then that feeling that, yeah, she's definitely not coming with, knowing the contract disputes and everything else. And then thinking, all right, well, she's
sir.
definitely out. After she posted that, well, this is where you can find me. Post comes out, hey, they're in contract disputes. Then she says, yeah, no, you're going to find me here for the foreseeable future. It was like, well, you can count her out.
They're
And then
definitely
for her
they're
to come.
definitely trolling
They're
that on
working.
purpose because Cole on commentary is like, but the internet told me she wouldn't be here. That was his line.
There was another one. Wasn't it the
Angelo Dawkins one.
Yeah,
They
like
said
Yeah.
he's been injured and that he walked around. Sean Ross Sapp said he even saw him that day and that he was walking on crutches the whole day.
Triple H in this era definitely likes to punk the scoopers and the melters and everything like that, and that's where, and yeah, and I don't know if there was a contract dispute, whatever it is. When you're her, damn, you got to feel good when you come out to that pop. That's like a walk backstage and be like not the Batista follow that, but it is like follow that because it is just like, what do you say?
It's
fuck,
like
damn,
worth the money.
yeah, whatever
they
happened,
paid her
it's like
for it.
okay, yeah. Or if they haven't re-upped her, it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's worth it. And then they definitely set up, which is again so funny back to NXT days, on the apron, Liv Morgan and Raquel eliminate her, massive boos. Like people are mad that she's gone, which is so funny because when Liv Morgan came in NXT, she was a discount Alexa Bliss because they were very similar. They're both smaller. They had the blonde hair, and I remember that's when Liv Morgan really started to like dye her hair. It was like the Seth Rollins things where he's like, "Oh, everyone has black hair here. I got to do something." But at the beginning, they were compared so much. So it's so funny if they end up, whether it's 1-on-1 at WrestleMania or like the Wyatt six family deal, whatever it is funny that we're going that route because they like Liv Morgan had to like, there's multiple years of just like, she's just discount Alexa Bliss, and it's funny where we're going now. So, and I think that's I think now that pop, the Judgment Day and Wyatt family match or Wyatt six match, it actually makes that match feel bigger now. And I actually think like the pairing of Liv and Alexa, that has a fun feel. Like you could even tell me like, hey, they're just gonna have an undercard match at WrestleMania. I'd be like, oh, that'll be a fun like 10-12 minutes. Like I think they have good move sets that'll, complement each other. They'll both try to out crazy one another. Like I think there's some fun stuff you could do there. So that's a program that I'm looking forward to. And yeah, kudos to her. That pop was crazy, man.
Yeah, she really, to me, she had the biggest pop of anyone, in my opinion.
So, yeah.
Jordan Grace had a great pop.
That was the only like I think like complete surprise, and even like that you haven't seen in a while on WWE TV.
Yeah, she got the good one.
Yeah, Grace got a big pop as well, and another good showing from her. It's tough because like last year I think was like a bit of a better showing, but because she was in there less, and this one I'm not as worried because she's gonna.
Last year I don't like she had a good showing, but did she eliminate people this year? I feel like she eliminated someone because last year she had a good showing, but she didn't actually eliminate anyone.
Didn't. And again,
I feel like she eliminated someone.
Tonight, I think she did. I think you're right. She eliminated someone. Really good moment because I was surprised. Last year they did the moment of her Naomi.
Oh, I was like, oh, they're doing this again.
They started to fight. Yeah. So when they did again, I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. Of like they're just gonna do the same spot. But when Bianca pulled her off, I was like, man, did Bianca fucking attack you? Because that was like not heely, but it was a little like, hey, what the fuck? Like, you're my partner, but it's like you can have multiple friends. So again, I'm hoping with that spot and what we've talked about before, to me, Grace is a main roster person. I hope it's not NXT. She did some stuff.
But at the same time, didn't Julia eliminate her?
Yeah, and Jordan Grace eliminated Jada Parker, so it may be a quick NXT run. So eliminated an NXT person, got eliminated by an NXT person.
I'm fine with the up to stand and deliver, and you do Raw after Mania debut.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that too. There's lots of good stuff she could do there. I'm not poo-pooing on that. It's just like I'm excited to see her there. But she got a really good pop. Jada Parker to me was somebody, I don't know how old she is. She's somebody that looked a tad nervous because when she was setting up moves, there's this move her and Bayley were trying to do, and she was like moving around a lot, and it was like, give Bayley a second.
I feel like Jada Parker was like an interesting pick. Like she's definitely over in NXT.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. It was like an interesting pick.
I feel like it was like a temperature check for them to kind of see like where she's
and
at.
Also it was weird because they changed her theme song literally like only a week ago. Like she's had a different theme song this entire time, and they gave her a new one like literally this past week on NXT or something like that.
Okay, so I thought she came with good attitude and she had good facials, but it did feel like we're Roxanne 23. It's already you could be. Yeah.
She's a good wrestler. Definitely I would say kind of similar to Alexa Bliss. It's like she's not like 5-star matches all the time, but like promos wise, those are like really really good, consistently great promos. So I feel like in the Rumble match you can't showcase that really, but I thought it was definitely I can see that being like a temperature check, like do people know this person?
Yeah, and it's also tough when I didn't expect Julia. We expected Stephanie, but it's like when you got, let's say Grace is NXT. You got Grace, Julia, Stephanie, even Lash Legend. I thought had a really good showing here.
Lash Legend, I expected that one. I felt like it was gonna happen.
But it's like when you have now 5, I feel like Jada almost automatically feels like kind of forgotten. Like if it was only a couple NXT people, you'd have that. Oh, and I guess Roxanne technically. So there's like 6 NXT people. So
but I did like that they did the new NXT versus the old NXT stare down, which is like that spot with who is in that original spot? It's Finn,
Roman
Nakamura.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
who
Roman Reigns, Nakamura, Finn, Cena,
Ray.
Ray,
I don't know who the
someone.
third new
Who's
guy
the third?
is.
Like, I can look it up. That's what
Yeah,
Rumble is that? Like
God.
2018?
I think it's
Is that the one that
2018,
Shinsuke won? I
2017.
feel
It's the one
like.
that Shinsuke wins. Yeah. Because, yeah, I just can't remember
Oh,
who the other new
I have a
guard is.
photo here.
Okay, who was
Oh,
the last?
this photo is like just blocking out the third guy in the camera angle. It's really like I can see Finn, Roman, Ray, Cena, and then the third guy's in the background. Oh, okay. Uh, who's this? Ray, Cena,
Yeah.
Orton, and Roman, Finn, and Nakamura.
Oh, Roman was a part of the new class. Yeah, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Whatever. He'd already won WrestleMania main
Big dog
event.
Roman
Bullshit.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
big dog Roman's a part of the new class. All right, but yeah, no,
I
lots
feel
of
like this one made more sense in that regard. Yeah, it was Charlotte, Bailey, and Bianca, and
Mhm.
then Roxanne, Julia, and Stephanie Vicaire.
Yeah, great moment. And yeah, Stephanie and Julia look great. It's one of those things that's so tough because they're so seasoned. Like, it's again, you need those people in NXT to keep that show going. But again, NXT, it's this
I
weird
think
thing of
Vicaire has like 15 years wrestling experience
yes,
because
it's
like in that Mexico, well she's from Chile, but yeah, they start wrestling at like 13 years old. So they'll be like they'll have that many years of experience without being actually that old.
it's just for me, it's so tough when it's like we talked about last week with like Raw when there's like a little lack of talent. You're like, man, like I know NXT needs talent, but get you could call up almost all these girls and like give some nice fresh faces. And but yeah, I think they all had good showings. I think Jada a little maybe not ready for this spot yet, but everybody else, Lash looked great. I'm excited. I think Stephanie Vakir, it's funny though, that's one thing when she did like the spots of like the slam and tie with the thighs.
Yeah,
That's
they
one
like
thing where it's like
missed
you can
it.
they missed it, and
There
also
were
like
a
the
few.
crowd
There was
didn't
a
react to it
few.
much. So that's
Yeah,
where it's like you can tell who they know people, but there's still not everyone that watches it. So, but yeah, the camera work was a little awful. They eventually got to, but I was like, oh, this is gonna be a big pop, and it was even same with the Julia and Io. They were like shooting it, but then they kind of missed some of it. So there
I
was a
feel like
few
there's
missed
too
Yeah.
much
spots as
stuff
well.
going on. So if you didn't know that was like her move, you would think like, oh, she's just hitting a like everyone was
Yeah.
doing the classic rumble like in each corner, just like hitting each other. So
Well,
I
and at
felt like it
one
was
point
like
too, I think there was like 13 or 14 women in the ring, and it was like you gotta start throwing. And I
I
think they
feel like
left it for a couple big
Cole at one
spots,
point
but
mentioned it's like this might be the most amount of people
yeah.
without getting eliminated or something like
There was
that.
too many people, and I think that's where some of the spots came in. But no, good showings there. I think for
And
me,
like
oh, good.
oh no, yeah, I was gonna say like that tweet I posted about Zelina and Trish Stratus. Like there were some people in the corners just like hitting each other for
Oh
like
yeah,
6 minutes.
yeah. And Trish, that was interesting that they had Nia eliminator. Not sure if just Trish was just there for some fun, or if that's like a hey, we
Well, what
need
I was gonna
something for
say
Nia
is
to
that
do.
the report, I forget who said it, but it said like they're like she's probably gonna be used multiple times, even like
Right.
up to Road to Maine. So what I was talking about earlier with this Rooms for Rumble, I feel like they do like, and they set it up last year at Money in the Bank and backstage. I feel like they do Tiffany versus Trish at Elimination Chamber
Hmm.
in Canada.
Okay,
Got
I
to
can
get
see
that
that.
Yeah,
Canada spot.
I remember the Canada, the Money in the Bank thing, right? And they could do
yeah.
that. So, which is interesting because we were talking about this last time, the Discord of because I didn't watch SmackDown. All I saw, my timeline was like, oh, baby Charlotte and heel Tiffany. This is a big mistake. I was like, okay, what did they do? And then even when I asked you guys, it sounds like it was mixed.
She was like
Maybe,
cutting a heel promo, and
yeah.
then Candice interrupted her with like another heel promo, and then Nia Jax came and beat her up.
Yeah.
Because I agree with people. To me, that is a mistake. Like, unless they don't care. But at WrestleMania, if they try to babyface Charlotte and heel Tiffany, it's gonna go the other way. Crowd reaction. Charlotte's gonna get the boos, and Tiffany's gonna get cheered. So I don't know why they're forcing that era. Even if you just want to have that for Mania and try and turn Tiffy. And again, are we just not getting this Nia and Tiffany Stratton match? Like it. This feels
It's
odd that
a
we
SmackDown match.
I guess only I guess I would say Saturday night's main event in the future, but that's far off. Like it feels. I agree with you about Chamber. They could do that. It just feels odd that they didn't. Like to me, that was the Rumble match or the Saturday night's main event match. It feels very
They-
strange.
They're
It's just a drop
they're
program.
missing the mark on it now, and it's by the time they
Yeah.
actually hit it, it's going to be well past.
It's like, remember, David, and they never got to an AEW because Keith Lee got injured. But remember when they kept putting out the Keith Lee swerve match? Like, oh, we're gonna
Yep.
get to it, and then
It
Keith Lee's
ended
been
up
injured
being
forever.
it ended up being Swerve versus Dustin on
Yeah,
like
and like
1 week
he like
notice.
stepped on him a cement block and shit. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
where it's like that's what this feels like. It's like when it does, it's gonna happen, but I feel like it's gonna be a mute point. So that's why for me, I would do Tiffy and Nia at Chamber. Have Tiffy babyface. I would love it if Charlotte was like an arrogant babyface, and then you do the full turn where she's like, "Oh yeah, it's great to be back," because like she's a thousand times better as a heel. Babyface Charlotte only worked when they brought her up for NXT and she beat Nikki Bella. Funny enough, that's the only time it really worked, or if she's with Becky. But other than that,
It was sort
you
of
know,
working before she got injured. It was like it had finally started working after War Games, and then she had like 1 month of that, and she got
yes,
injured. Because
but
that
that's
was
what
when
stuff.
she
Yeah,
was like taking on Damage Control, and like
right,
even after like the weird Shotzi promo, they had like a backstage segment where she was like
right,
proud of
yes,
Shotzi and being
yes.
like a mother figure, and
And
then
wasn't
she
that the
got
rumor
hurt.
they were doing Bianca and Charlotte that year though? Which is
Yeah.
like I'm not sure what would
I
happen
guess
there, but
maybe it
yeah,
would be like all a plan or something to like
yeah.
turn heel.
So we'll see. I just think that's at least do Tiffany face and her face. I think if they make Tiffy a heel, it doesn't play right. Maybe they're trying to make her the female Braun Breaker and she's gonna be a tweener. I don't know. But the other person that to me was like an MVP of this Rumble, Chelsea Green, man. Fantastic. Multiple spots. They did the spot like we talked about where she threw 4 women over, they beat her up. They did this great spot where it was I can't remember who it was all of them. Oh, it was Bianca, Jada Parker, Naomi, and Lash Legend.
Oh, yeah.
And they have Chelsea Green trying to come in and be like, "I'm hip, I'm cool with it." Like she's trying to play like the whitest girl in the world, Karen spots. Like this
Yeah.
is such a fun moment. Like, and the second she got eliminated, and she got a pop, but second she got eliminated, big booze. I wonder if they're gonna do something with her and Piper because like she eliminated her, and I could see, I could honestly see Piper beating her for that title. But I thought Chelsea, that's the type of character that I don't think the men's rumble had, which is okay. But she is just like a one of a kind talent where she's mastered where, okay, she can be the very comedic comedy spot character, but also I can wrestle and I can eliminate a person that
Mhm.
doesn't feel like our truth eliminating someone, right? So I thought she was, I won't say she's the MVP, but like one of the MVPs. She shined in this rumble. So great job by Green.
Also, I was just thinking back to the men's rumble. I don't think did the Miz. I don't think he eliminated anyone, right?
No,
To
I don't think
continue
so.
his. I think he has the record of most rumble appearances and most rumble match time with the least amount of
Two,
Yeah.
elimination. I think
two
it's two. Yeah.
eliminations. Yeah, two
He has no
eliminations.
eliminations with this match.
Yeah. Let's see. I thought Ivy had
Oh
a good
yeah,
showing
back
here.
to
Oh, but
Piper also to adding to like Jordan Grace showing like her lifting Piper. That was a
right.
great spot.
That was amazing. Jordan Grace, like, and that's why she came in. She got a pop. She had good moments when she did that. The crowd was up. Like, she's gonna be over big time in the future. I'm not saying like Rhea Ripley over, but she's just gonna be like a big fan favorite. I feel like she's got a good energy. And there's a moment too where I don't know if it was Piper or somebody. They threw her down to the ground and she just got up. She smiled. And she like slapped the mat. It reminded me of like Wonder Woman
I
and
think it was Piper
BVS.
hit her
Yeah,
finisher and she fighting spirit no sold
yeah. But it
it.
was like, oh man, just even that smile. It's like, okay, this could happen in a little match. Like the Kenny Omega kick out at one. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, Jordan, like she's gonna be really good here. I just noted I thought Ivy had a good little showing there. She threw at Lyra, so and she did the pantomime of the title. So clearly
Yeah.
they're doing
They
Lyra and
setting
Ivy.
that up on Raw, yeah.
Hmm.
That'd be the
And then they gave Maxine a nice little one elimination spot with Ivy there. That was great. She got great moments, and then
Max,
another.
she does she does the fisherman suplex. That's like the only move. Like she always does that like in every match that she's in. Like if it's like a mixed tag match, like that's her one move that she does like really well. And I mean she does do it well, and
Yeah,
I like it.
and then the PFC they dominated for a little bit, but then got thrown out.
I liked all three of them getting thrown out at the
Yeah,
same time. I thought that was funny.
that and the only other thing I have to shout there is kudos to Zoe Stark. It sucked because like she did that big drop kick to Dakota Kai, who Dakota Kai in concussion protocol. So that sucks. That might be another reason why we got so much NXT, right? Because I feel like Kai would have
Yeah,
been
I feel
in
like
this.
that's like a short notice. Yeah, she definitely
Yeah.
would have been in this.
So she was trying. So she got that trending drop kick, right? The missile springboard drop kick. She's trying to do that again, and she fucked it up. But man, Zoe's so good. The second she hit her feet, she hit a clothesline right away. Not even a stutter. Not even like a clothesline.
I
Oh
feel like
shit! And then
something
clothesline. It was
similar
like
happened in the Money in the
so
Bank
good.
match last year. Like there was some sort of botch that she like recovered from right
Yeah.
away.
I just wish she had more charisma or something because like she has all the ring talent, just that stuff like that, like recovering. It's like that is smooth, like that stuff like young Charlotte. Like I'm not saying Charlotte can't do it now, but like Charlotte could do, and you're like, oh man, she's so ring savvy, and it's just like it
Yeah.
sucks that like I still don't care about Zoe Stark other than like, oh, she wrestles good. It's the old Benoit meme, like I wrestle good, So
Yeah.
um,
Speaking of wrestling good, one thing that I really did not like about this match is they kept making nods to Natalia's age. I kind of felt like that
that
was
was weird.
overplayed. Yeah, they called her the den mother of the women's division. I was like, golly, like I get it, but man, the shade on Natalia is thick, right? Like, how am I supposed to take you seriously as a competitor when all they're doing is just giving subtle? They were showing respect, but giving her little punches like at the exact same time. Like, yeah, oh, she's a veteran of the ring. Women respect her because she's been here since the beginning. Like, that's just
Unless
so
maybe are they
many
gonna do a washed
reminders.
angle with her? Maybe is that what they're gonna do? Maybe like is that
I
the
don't
one
know.
more run?
But I was
So
like, damn, like how many times can you just like attack the fact that Natalia's been here forever? And it was when they said that whole den mother thing, I was like, oh, that's just rude.
yeah. They broke the streak of Liv Morgan 2 years in a row. Was the runner up, but she wasn't this year. I like that Roxanne got the shine. I would like that going. Now I guess the only purpose of keeping that going to me was well, eventually Liv's gonna win. So this told me that Triple H has no
Yeah,
foreseeable
like
future of
yeah. I
because to
don't
me
think
it's like
she's
you do
winning the
that right.
Rumble.
Like if you were to be like, hey, we might have Liv win next year, have a run up again. That would be a fun story of 3 years in a row. I almost got there. So that's this to me was like, okay, that might not, but who knows? I won't say for sure
Yeah.
because anyone can get over, and maybe next year she's like fucking getting massive pops. But and I thought a good enough, and
She has
again,
a chant over one word a
yeah.
chant and she
But
wins
hey,
the Rumble.
before you become like the internet, when
No,
she get like
I'm just joking.
I know, but like EO came out, got a big pop. When Liv came out, also got a big pop. Like that's why I know lots of people don't. Like I think they just think Liv is. It's like the what I'm saying about Nikki Bella, right? They probably think like Liv's just not on the level of certain people. But to me, it's the same thing. It's her characters and it's the little face things she does. She still got a big pop. So even though the Rhea program's done, she lost the title. People still are invested in that character. Unlike Raquel, who came out to crickets. And the look with the headband and like she needs Judgment Day needs to lose at WrestleMania, and they all need to be broken up, and all other than Liv and Dom, all rebooted. Finn rebooted, Raquel rebooted. All send them away for 2 months, have them come back with new looks. Because even Finn came out, and that's who came out. I think in between Drew. Yeah, it was like
Oh
it
yeah,
was like yeah, it was Finn and
he
then Drew.
loves
But
he loves his FXX
I fucking
that
hate
he
that. It's
came
so
up with, and
stupid, and
at
the
least he
music
didn't have the
sucks.
mask on.
Yeah, well, he
He
could have got
didn't
to the
have
ring and be
the
like, "Where am I going?" But like Finn came out. I won't say it's crickets, but like barely anything. Like this guy used to be the demon. He was selling out NXT arenas, first Universal Champion. Now no one gives a flying fuck about this guy. And know what's all weird is I had listened to some other wrestle podcasts, and I'd heard people talk about like, oh, because I saw Finn tweet out the Dom thing, right? So I saw a few people be like, oh, there's probably gonna tease some dissension, some of him and Dom. Nothing. No interaction between Finn and Dom at all because Finn was already gone. Finn's fucking getting not caught by Braun Strowman, who I don't care is not good at his job. You have one job. You get eliminated, catch Finn. He fucking just drops Finn. He's not even there for the catch. Finn's just gone. I'm like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me? Are you kidding me? Like, like this is a dangerous spot. He's getting AA to the ground. Catch him. But Finn is just like, it's nothing. Like again, he needs a whole reboot. There's crickets when he's coming out. It's like sad to see. But and then the only thing, yeah, Charlotte to me was looking good, moving good. Sucks she's wrestling with a brace now. I know lots of wrestlers talk about how much like that just gets in the way and it's such a pain. It's cool that she got like diamond bedazzled and everything, but I know like wrestlers all the time like, man, some people like I hate the brace and stuff. But we didn't even talk about, but I don't think much we talked about last gimmick. Like I don't think we were surprised by Charlotte winning. I think we said before like if they haven't
I think
decided between
we all
yeah.
said Charlotte.
Yeah, they haven't decided between Io and Bianca. then yeah,
Just
don't
give
do it
it
right
to
now. Yeah, give it to
Charlotte. Yeah.
Charlotte. And like to me, yeah, first 2-time winner. To me, it makes sense. She's been gone for how long? So it's like it works. I know some people might be mad, but it's like I don't know. It's weird. Some people are mad because Jay and stuff. It's not one of the obvious matches, but then when Charlotte wins, and I feel like everyone's wanted Charlotte and Tiffany, but like Charlotte winning the Rumble is like, well, fuck. Yeah, I guess because it's just not Io, right? It's not a first time
Yeah.
winner. Some people are mad, but it's like, some people it might happen again in the future. But anything else in the women's Rumble I haven't brought up?
No, I mean it was. I'm like the fact that they mixed it up. You had the 5 NXT competitors, and you had the return with Trish. Nikki was wasted in her spot. I wasn't mad at the return. I think I was just more like I didn't like that spot. Like put Julia in that spot or one of the NXT people who you weren't winning. Give them that shine rather than Nikki. But other than
I was
that,
gonna say
the
also
match was fine.
with Trish returning, I think she's definitely doing more stuff because she had like the custom Titantron. It was like the 25
Yes,
years.
yeah.
It's like when John Cena had like his like a few years ago, like the 20-year
Yeah.
Titantron. So
She's gonna have another retirement match. She retired against Lita in '06, and then she
Yep.
had another retirement match with Charlotte at SummerSlam like 2018 or something. Now she's back in. So just stop saying retirement. But I'm happy. And even then, if you were to say, hey, we're gonna do like
yeah.
Trish and I at WrestleMania, I'd be like, yeah, that's like give us some more women's matches that aren't just title matches. I'd be fine with that. That
Yeah,
works for
that'd be
me.
interesting. Yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
that'd be like they haven't ever had a. I don't think like a. I think it's a. They've never had a non-title women's like
Yeah.
singles match
Do a
at
couple of those,
WrestleMania.
and like I think that's an easy win for Nia, and that gives her a big win too. And we got no Becky tonight, and like we said, no AJ. Only thing I was gonna say that I didn't say overall, absolutely 10 out of 10. Loved all the new graphics, everything from saying which entrance number is next, how many people are in the ring, how many people eliminated. I love when they came down said like fourth Royal Rumble, they won this at this eliminations. They even I think there was some report last year of like, oh, they because the TKO thing want to make it more sports like. And I know fans like, oh no, not my entertainment. But like this is the stuff to me. It's like that's the
Yeah,
sports
it's
stuff I
like
like. Is
the more
Yeah.
sports like
easy
stuff is
stats.
yeah, like the stuff like that and just like the design elements. Yeah, I
It
thought it was
wasn't
good. Yeah, it
distracting
just had like
either.
little stats for each
Yeah.
person. Like even like if people like didn't have that much stuff, like even Jada Parker had like part of the OTM faction in NXT or
Yes.
something like that. Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
there was
They had
something.
their
Size,
flag of their
platform.
country of origin
Oh
and
yeah,
things
I
Yeah,
like
that
like
was
that.
that too. The
cool.
flags.
Yeah, I liked all that. So whoever idea that is, raise. Give them a raise. Give them
Yeah.
some Alexa Bliss money. We'll do the tag team match because I don't have much to say. This I thought it was good. I thought it picked up more near the end. I didn't love the first fall was. I don't know. I think it was like within like 3 or 4 minutes because I always hate that where it's like these teams regularly would wrestle 50 minutes to beat each other once. I'd rather the falls be close together more near the end of the match than a random, just spot. But I did really like the spot where Gargano pretends to tag and he didn't and then chomp him with the knee. So I thought this was good. I thought the ending though was very, very messy, and I felt the crowd just like dead, just like a
Yeah.
pin drop of like, and what are we? I thought we went through this with the Street Profits already with this heel thing of like they put him with the Hurt Business, and then what was the reason they just randomly turned face again? Because it was like even beyond
Because
like,
no
they
no
just
one
found in the
booed
crowd.
them. Like
Yeah,
no
no one
matter
booed him,
like
right?
they like
Yes.
they
Yeah.
like beat up the LWO and like Ray and beating up Ray's like the easy
Yes.
heel turn and they were like cheering them. And then
And
they
this
just
was
turned face
in.
and brought in the Karrion Cross verse for
This
them to
was
fight.
in the Triple H era when this happened. When everyone agreed this heel thing isn't working, just say screw it, their faces again. But they're like, well, we got nothing to do. They're heels, and the same thing we talked about, like that Nia thing. I think now they've missed the boat on Montez Ford as well. Like as a singles act, there's so much great talent come out. There was a spot. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like that's done. And so I thought the match was good, but the ending left a huge sour taste in my mouth, and I didn't like any of it. So it was kind of disappointing, honestly, overall for me.
I agree. Like the wrestling itself was what you expect out of these two teams, but I think the ending of it all with the Street Profits it was a huge deflate to it. I mean it immediately soured me on the whole thing because immediately I'm like, okay, well, why is this? And the commentators like, oh, well, they're doing it because they want them for themselves, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is dumb. This
Just
is
like
the
wait,
worst
whoever wins
booking.
and be like, "Hey, dibs, we got you now."
Yeah,
Like, why do you have to attack? Like, it's so dumb. Like we because even then, like, okay, we attack you, we made you win the championship, but then we're gonna attack you too. It's like, why?
it's
Like, it's
professional wrestling. You just have to come out and point at the belts, and you're the up
yes,
next. Like that's all you have to do. You
or
didn't
God
have to
forbid,
do
just
this
do a
whole convoluted thing.
or just have a contenders match on SmackDown and have Street Profits win it. Like, why are they in here attacking them with crutches? Like, and it's odd to me if they're gonna do that. I thought have the Motor City Machine Guns win. They're the babyface team, and have Street Profits gonna be heel again. Okay, cool, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at
Is
the
Bob's
same
gonna
time,
make
there's the
sense of
whole
this?
story of like DIY supposedly having attacked them, and that's why they were like they like Dawkins. I think he actually did get
S-
injured for
Still
real, and
stupid.
then they made it a story like for a while, and
St-
then yeah, I don't know.
Still stupid.
Yeah, this like to me, and it's because this night's so big, it's fine. But if this was on AEW, like they'd be AEW be getting torn over the coals right now for like what are they doing with the tag division? Like if the Hurt Business were start doing some of this stuff, but it's just like yeah, this to me is it sucks because I thought this was getting the tag division back on track, but we'll see. And then finally we got I'll say I went in a different order, but we got Cody versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match. I ended up really
The
enjoying
birth
this.
of Homelander Cody.
Okay, we're gonna debate about
Yeah.
this. I disagree completely. But anyways, the beginning of this match I didn't love because it was just like a regular ladder match. It was very quick. They're climbing because I thought it's gonna sound dumb. I thought it was not gonna be a ladder match. It's gonna be a match with ladders. But then I'd say like 10 minutes in, it turned into that where it's just Cody and Kevin finding ways to beat each other up with the ladders, using them. It's not about like, oh, the climbing. They did a couple of those. Cody took like the rung off the ladder and beat him up with. So I didn't love the beginning, but I loved the middle. That's when the turn happened, and the end. I will disagree on the Homelander stuff, but we'll wait till we get there. So for me, I think it's like a 4 out of 5. But it was the back half I liked a lot more. Where the beginning felt like just like a ladder match anybody could have. I
Yeah,
just felt like their
at the first
personalities
it didn't
wasn't
feel like
showing.
super intense. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
expecting it to be like, yeah, especially with like the tiny ladder. I felt like that was like a comedy
Oh
type
yeah.
spot.
My kids
Yeah.
laughed at that. They're like tiny
I mean,
ladder,
I
and
thought it
they
was
laughed.
funny, but then I was also like, this like a blood feud, and they're doing like this tiny ladder
And even
thing
Kevin
here.
did the thing where like, yeah, he's funny, but like he walked up the ladder and pretend to jump, and then he didn't. Like to me, it's like you said you're gonna fucking murder this guy. Like, why are you making comedy spots in the middle of your match? So that's why it's like, for first 7 minutes, I not bad, but I was like, it's not clicking for me. But they got there eventually. So
Yeah. I am in the process of moving. That's what I spent my entire day. Like I rushed to get the TV up and the office set up before the Royal Rumble started. And my friend who's helping me move, like they were enthralled by the second half of that match, and like they don't watch wrestling on the regular, don't know most of the people, but they were like yelling "Oh my god" at the TV, and some of those spots like they brought them in the second half of that. Like you wanted to see how this was going to play out. So I think yeah, they picked it up. They really brought the animosity with each other in the second half. There were some spots where I was just like, oh my god, why would you ever put your body through that? The final spot with KO and him being folded over and the way his head was in the ladder, I was just like, geez. And I mean, I honestly thought though, with that wide shot of Cody running up the ladder, I was yelling at the TV. I go, Sammy's about to run in. Sammy's going to push him off.
That's what I thought
Sammy's going to
too.
do something. And nope, he just goes up, take it. Yeah. I wouldn't say he's full Homelander yet.
I think the thing that like I'm mostly joking about, but I feel like that last shot, especially like with him
that
going
facial
over to stand
expression,
with the
yes.
titles,
it
like,
is,
and
but
Sammy's like crying over Kevin Owens' like dead body, and he's like holding up the titles.
it is for meme purposes. But if you look at the story, Kevin did the same thing to him at Saturday Night Main Event, right? He's stretchered, and Kevin's holding the title over him. Like that's where to me, it's like they
But I feel
still
like
made
that
sure.
it's like also like it's like a heel thing. Like I
It
get why
kind
he
of
did
is,
it.
but Remember,
And
CM
they
Punk
were
was like,
they were booing Cody during some of this match. Like every time KO would climb the ladder, they would cheer, and every time Cody would pull him down, they would boo.
oh, I didn't hear. I didn't hear.
They were
I don't
definitely
think any
cheering
of that.
KO over. They were counting. They were saying "Let's go KO," and they were booing Cody every time he pulled him out of the ladder. And like every time
Oh, I gotta go
KO hit him, they were
back.
cheering KO. Yeah.
I gotta go back
Like
and
at the
hear that
start
because
of
I
the
didn't
match,
hear.
like when they're announcing like Cody's name and he's doing like this, they're just like booing, and then they're cheering KO.
Really? Okay, I gotta go
I
back because
noticed
yeah, there's
especially
loud
every
mouth
time
that.
KO would climb the ladder, they would cheer, and every time Cody would
That's
pull him down, they
interesting.
would boo.
That's interesting. Well, and that's where at least I liked on SmackDown and a little bit of Raw. CM Punk's like, oh, it's a different Cody Rhodes. So like, I think they just set up that he's
I feel like
pissed, but
I
like,
was taking like this to be like the like title is like corrupting him storyline, or
I
like
like that
now
as
he
well too.
achieved it
Yeah,
and now he has to like he finished the story, but now like no one else can have this title
yeah.
because it's his now.
And he's like the best at it. Yeah, so that's where we'll see. Because to me, in story, everything, yes, that shot is a little. That's why I put in the thumbnail. It is a little angrily and deceived. So I like that. But for me, it's kind of like a yeah, sure, he's good guy Cody, but this was like a fuck you, man. Like you stabbed me in the back, you did the same thing to me. I'm gonna do it to you. See how you like it. But I do think that I don't think it's that Cody won. Why the reaction to the win was like muted. I think it's just that everyone thought Sammy was gonna do something, and when he didn't, it felt like it just was like it ended. So it's kind of like the tag team
Yeah.
match where it was kind of like a oh that's odd, but obviously it's to set up that KO's gonna hate
Especially the
Sammy.
way that he struggled getting the belts off and like had to go
Yes,
up
took a
to the
while.
final rung and things like that, and he was slowly taking them off. I'm like, all right, he's buying time because you have to get both belts off. So he struggled to get
Yeah.
the first one off, then he's working on the second one. I'm like, all right, he hasn't got the second one. Now Sammy's gonna run in something. I'm just waiting, but yeah, no, it finished off, and I'm like, oh, okay, then
Yeah.
here we go.
Well, and two other things, I will because I know now I'm going to go back and listen to that. I'm going to still predict that the internet's going to be wrong, and I think it's going to be like when AJ and Cody versus some people cheered for Cody or AJ. I don't think the crowd's going to turn on Cody right now. I don't unless that's they start leaning into that, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then also no Randy here and no Randy at the Rumble. I was very surprised. I thought
Yeah, I
one another.
forgot
So
about
it's
that.
I don't know where that's picking up because I feel like Randy and Kevin have to have a match. Maybe that's at the Chamber. I don't know, but yeah, no Randy anywhere. He's having a good vacation right now with that neck injury. So yeah. Anything else for this match or the
So
Rumble
what do you
overall?
think about the possible Cena versus Homelander Cody at WrestleMania?
I I I would not mind it if they said, "Hey, we're gonna do that." I think it's just like I think there is a Homelander Cody story. I just think it's too early. Now, don't get me wrong. In a month, if people are turning on Cody, then yeah, pull the trigger. But I just don't think so. I think there's people that like AJ and like Kevin Knight because I didn't hear they do get cheered, but overall, people and like the kids and women and like tons of people, there's
It was
adult
like
males
I also
too.
noticed it was like the Let's Go Cena sucks, like Let's Go Cody was like the women and children, and Let's Go KO was like, or it was like Kevin Owens and it was like all
Yeah.
guys, and then Let's Go Cody was like the women and children.
Well, at least he's not getting Cody sucks. That's good. And women and children, I'll be with you there. I'm Cody. I'm Ryan Dye Cody. But yeah, I still think we're on the track for Cody and Cena. And yeah, that could be the start though. Maybe that's the difference. Where maybe Cody Homelander isn't the lead up. That's the start of it. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? We'll
maybe
see.
Backlash is
Yeah.
Homelander Cody.
But then for me, it's almost like with Homelander Cody, I wouldn't want him to lose then. Like I'd want him to like
Yeah.
imagine the WrestleMania match. He like fucking low blows Cena to get the win, and it's like, man, like what a piece of
DQ
shit.
main event of
No, no,
WrestleMania.
not DQ. Yeah, no. He gets the win, refs down, stuff like that's where it's like I'd want Cody to go on a Roman tear, then be like, yeah, keep it for another year, and then when someone beats him, it is like the next guy. But we'll see. But anything else, gentlemen, for the show, Royal Rumble?
Overall, like I said, it was a good rumble. I'd probably rank it 4 out of 5 for me, or 4.25 out of 5. Like I said,
I
it,
agree.
it was good. It had some moments that I could have done without, but nothing that made me go, "Oh, this was a complete waste." So
Yeah,
it was a good show.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
about
I
the
thought
same.
both Rumbles were very exciting. In I feel like in different ways. But yeah, I like the whole show overall, and I'd say it was a good time.
Yeah, no, I like the whole show. I agree with David. I think, yeah, 4.25 is good because 4.5 might be too high. I'll be very curious. I'm excited to watch the press conference after. I'll be curious to see because my timeline is not like I think people are crazy. They're like, oh, these are the worst winners since Ronda and Brock, like the worst combo winners.
I
I'm
saw a
like,
cage match. The men's rumble has like a 2 out of 10,
people are mad.
but
People are
they're
like,
they're
shit.
giving it like zeros. They're like Jey
Yeah.
Uso winning the rumble.
Like to me, it's weird because I come from a time where it's like instead of Daniel Bryan winning, it was Batista, and then instead of Daniel Bryan, it was like Roman Reigns, who everyone hated. To me, that was a case of, hey, look at the crowd, they're booing, people are against us. I get why you might not be happy, but it's like you can't say Jey Uso is not like a smart business like that fits with what they're doing. So I'll be curious to see, and who knows? Maybe I don't buy it. I was gonna say maybe WrestleMania time, people cheer for Gunther and boo Jay. Not gonna happen. Jay's gonna be over.
Yeah.
People love to yeet. That's same thing. Those yeeting people, not all of them, but a lot of those are those kids. That's what the same thing with Cody. I just can't get on board that I think like there's gonna be this big turn against them. Yeah, maybe
Yeah, no, I
eventually,
don't
but
think I don't think
we're
it
on the high,
happened like if it was like I don't think they would like just power through it if it was like if people were starting to turn on it. Like
Yes,
if a large amount of people were actually turning on it, I don't think they would just like try to the John Cena thing or like the
I
big dog
agree.
Roman Reigns
They
thing.
would do something like turn Roman and make him, a
Or
heel,
it's
and
like
then
the Rock heel turn
yes,
like from
I
last
agree.
year.
They'll go with it. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, this was our one of our shortest shows ever, which is funny because Rumble, but only one topic. So, yeah, we will be back either before or after Chamber. Maybe we'll talk the three of us and go from there, and then
Yeah.
either in between then or sometime we didn't talk about it right now, but. We are gonna. Oh my God, Travis smells. I haven't seen this account in ages. This guy, I'll tell you guys off air. This guy was like one of our first trolls. I still think it's someone
I
from
remember
GeekVerse.
this.
Yeah, I think it's Taylor, to be honest. I really do. But like, and he's getting me back because I fooled him because he actually messaged me like, "Are you actually retiring?" Uh, uh, I think it's him, but he made a video about me. Multiple is fun. Make some new videos. Add this video, you make a video about me. But at some point, we didn't talk about this one. WWE 2K25 has
Oh yeah.
GMO coming and it's online. So next cast we'll talk about that because there'll be more details. But we are going to at some point we're going to do at least a season. We're going to find a day where all three of us are free. I got no kids. Dave has no kids. Going to do a couple hours. We're going to stream us replaying GMO together. Give me tons of fun, different shows. So yeah, we'll get some playtime with it. But that's the only thing. I don't have a day or anything. So that's whether it's Discord or social media, look out for that. We will announce that. But that'll be a fun time. So I thank you
And
guys for doing
I'll
this.
probably
Oh, go ahead.
tally up the draft points at some point before
Perfect.
this week or this weekend, and I'll send them. Maybe you can tweet it out
Send
or
them. I'll tweet them
something
out.
to
Yeah, I'll
have
tweet out an
the
update
yeah.
so people know.
Because
So yeah,
I
get
don't
those
know.
rumble
I'll be
numbers.
adding like
Oh yeah,
hundreds, and I'll have to count like each person.
yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably sometime either by the end of this weekend or sometime this week I'll do that. As long as I can
Perfect.
find a good David, definitely send me whatever stat page
He did in the
you were
Discord.
looking
It's
Yeah.
at.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, there you go. We'll be back next month. Thank you guys for joining in, and we'll talk to you later. And it won't be boring.